What's the wildest story that you have with a bow?
Man, well, mountain lion. So
What?
yeah, mountain lion, which is crazy. Y'all know my son shot a mountain lion.
I think, did I show you the picture? Yeah.
Right. So my son killed a mountain lion.
Did you kill it here?
It was here. Yeah.
Nothing Shirley?
Yeah, it was here. So, he killed one. It was on somewhere around the beginning of the year, right around there. He killed one. But back in 2000, man, I think it was 18. I think it was 18. 2018, we were elk hunting in Idaho, and I had this bow. And I had my wife next to me, and she was standing on the other side of a logging road, and I'm standing, calling for cow call. I'm doing a cow call, trying to call in a bull, and I had a spruce tree in front of me. I'm trying to hide behind that way in case something come off this trail, right in front of us. So she's over here on this side of the road, and I'm over here on this side behind a spruce tree, and I'm calling, and I hear her. She goes, babe, and I'm kind of like. And then I look, thinking, I don't know, I don't see anything coming. I don't see nothing at all. And I'm looking, and there's a spruce tree kind of blocking my view. And then she's like, babe. And I'm like, what are you doing? I look over her, and dude, she's brown year round like me, right? I look over her, and she is freaking Mike White. I ain't joking.
You're kidding me.
No,
She must have been really scared.
Really like neon white, right?
Was she by a Honda Fit?
Yeah. No, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't even buy a Ford.
Okay.
So she's saying, dude, she's like pale white and shaking. I'm like, what the hell? And then she just does this number like, and I kind of look around the spruce tree, right? I look over, and dude standing there about 20, it was actually 23 yards. It was the biggest mountain lion I ever seen in my life. He's sitting on his ass, right? He's sitting there, and I don't know.
How many feet is that for the listeners?
I don't know, 4 feet maybe, sitting
That's
on
tall as John.
Exactly. Yeah. About the roof of a Honda Fit. The reference.
I understand.
I like what he did there.
Yeah.
That was good.
Was it really that tall?
Yeah.
4 foot tall,
Yeah.
sitting
and
down?
I'm telling you, it was a big tom, and his head was, I don't know. this is a big, Western Mountain Idaho cat.
What the hell?
This cat was huge, right? And I look over and I could see his tail was doing this number.
Just curious.
He's like looking dead at me, right? And I had a tag. I had a deer tag, had an elk tag, had a lion tag, and I was like, dude, you freaking smoked. I drew back and I leaned past that spruce, and I let it fly. When that arrow came out of my bow, it did this. And I saw it do this when it came out of my bow. Well, it nicked his shoulder.
Oh, no.
And the only thing he did is he went like this, and he looked at me.
Oh, shit.
And then he turned around, went back up the mountain. Just disappeared in the ferns.
Right? Damn.
And I'm like, I don't know if that arrow went. I heard something hit. I was like, I don't know if it zipped through him and he didn't feel it, or I missed him. So I gave it a minute. And me being a Texan, being a varmint critter hunter, I'm like, first thing I started doing was, I'm trying to call him back, which is probably stupid to do that.
Might be stupid.
And here's the kicker. That day, I normally don't. Actually, I never do it. Now I really never do it. I typically always have a Glock on a chest holster right here when I'm hunting in Idaho and Colorado, just because of bear, lions, and wolf now. And man, that day I was like, I'm not carrying that. This freaking thing's heavy. And that was that. I was carrying a bow and backpacks. And I'm not carrying that thing, right?
Oh shit.
So I didn't have it. Didn't have my pistol on me. I didn't have my knife. It was in my backpack. So all I had was my bow, right?
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So he turned around and went back up, and I'm trying to call him back, like, dumbass, whatever. So that didn't hit him. So it just barely nicked him, and it nicked him enough. There was like 2 or 3 little hairs on the ground, and there was no blood on the arrow, no nothing. I just nicked him. So when I checked, I'm like, what the hell happened? I know my equipment. Well, at that time, I was getting my arrows cut and made at a pro shop. And one of the arrows, that particular arrow, had been cut about 1 inch short.
Oh, shit.
So when we talked about performance, and we talked about all the functionalities and the things that these things do now, and that you've got to have tuned. You got to have your arrows tuned to your bow, your draw length, your weight, all that stuff. That arrow was cut 1 inch short, so when it came out of my bow going that speed, you can tell if it's an inch short, it's going to change your flexibility in your arrow. So it changed the flight pattern. So it came out, it was too light. So it came out doing this number, and it missed my mark, at 23 yards by that much, 6 inches, 5 inches. So didn't get the cat, which sucks because that would have been, a record book cat with a bow, public land, by myself, non-resident. That would have been, in the books.